As a member of the village, we pledge to be an indestructible force of change in our community. We promise to respect, care for, and help others in our community, and most of all, ourselves. We will raise the standard of integrity and courage within our community at all times.
Well, hello. I am Dr. Graham Taylor. This here is Pinky Jacobs, and our special guest, Ms. Ashley Sherrod. And we're here for the year in review of Off the Couch News. What are we reviewing, Pink?
The year?
The whole thing, huh?
Yeah, everything.
The entirety of the whole.
In entirety.
Wow. Well, this is going to be a while, so I suggest you folks get some popcorn or something.
I mean, it's quite simple. January, everybody lied. Politicians lied. People got exposed. February, people lied. Politicians lied. People got exposed. March, politicians lied. People got exposed. Like, the whole year has just been
There
a
was
year.
a tsunami or something, wasn't there? Wasn't there like a tsunami?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the main part is the year as a whole, in a gist. How would you, I don't know, summarize the year 2018?
Well, I had some snacks. They were delicious. They were yummy snacks.
Is that all you got for 2018?
I went some places. Like driving.
So, how do you summarize your year? How do you summarize your year, Ashley? What do you summarize 2018 as?
I would say summarize it as a year of learning and growth.
Okay.
Through different experiences, learning how to control my temper. When to know that having a temper is acceptable.
Right.
And how to create a positive path forward.
Okay. So, focus on balance. That's been your summary of this year.
And I learned that PCP jokes are horrible and very hurtful to people because some people struggle with addiction, things such as PCP. And my jokes, as hilarious as they are, may actually hurt some feelings.
So,
Like walking on water, huh?
like, this is part of the problem with half of our nation because they don't focus. You feel what I'm saying? All they care about is snacks and PCP, and it's real.
PCP joke. I don't do PCP. These were jokes about the hookers and the PCP.
So, in other words, what I would like to say for 2018 is I hope people focus. I think 2018 was definitely a year where a lot of things were exposed. A lot of people had to learn the hard way. And I think, honestly, what we see happening on a global scale, like what's happening everywhere, it's time to stand up. I mean, everywhere they're rioting. You got the yellow vest in France. You got people in Syria rioting. You got people in Venezuela rioting. People in Portugal rioting. People are tired of what the status quo is saying is the status quo, and they're asking for the status quo to be raised up to a higher standard. So what we see is that it's time to fight for something higher. This year, a higher cause, your higher self, something greater than what you have already achieved or where you're at. So if you're not fighting for something better in 2019, then it's kind of no point in being there. I think on a local scale, what have we seen transpire in our community? Do you have any thoughts on that, Graham?
Yes. Apparently the chick that accused Councilman Williams was like threatening her and all that stuff. That's a big broad, and I kind of looked at her and him. He's about these big round, she's like this big round, and yeah, I learned I met the guy, very nice guy, humble, intelligent, not the kind of guy that run around, I don't know, trying to strangle a bitch. So I'm guessing this bitch lying. So yeah, I was like, that's local, and
And speaking for big girls, because I'm a big girl too, like I'm tall.
I like big girls.
Okay,
I like big girls.
but I'm just saying, as a big girl, when the whole situation happened, I was looking at her like, you bigger than him. You won't scared of him. If this was real life, like as a woman, like come on black ladies, like you already know, ain't nobody scared of like So stop it. So you already know it was some propaganda and some hoax. I would just like people to take notice on our year in review with the city, because you have the year starting off with, you know, this W.A. Foster Center and all these things supposed to be getting done. They get done. The Multi-Sports Complex Center, all these big projects where they had to borrow all this money to do. And then you have Councilman Williams getting harassed from the beginning of the year.
I got a question.
What?
They had like millions of dollars for that depot that we never got. They got that little train. They got a bus station beside the depot, basically.
Yeah.
Where the rest of the money go, Pink?
Well, I don't know, but our city manager retired and moved to another state.
Ooh.
Was it nice? Was it a nice state? Preferably somewhere sunny.
Preferably somewhere where I think he'll fit in just nice. I think good old Virginia.
Ah,
Yes.
extreme white people. Yes. Yes.
So, after he leaves, then we have our financial director left, retired,
Oh,
and her
did-
assistant.
Did they get a severance package of any chance?
I don't know. Maybe they got some of the depot money.
Ah,
I don't know.
how come the feds never asked about the money over there was supposed to be? That was like millions of dollars, wasn't
Well,
it?
I think because our citizens don't really stand up and say the things that need to be said, so why would the people stealing the money say something about the money? And of course, feds are kind of like, you know, government entities that kind of all work together. So unless you bring something to their attention, they're not going to do nothing about it either. Unless it's black people.
Or you're a dope boy.
Unless it's black
And
people.
it's about indictment season right about now.
It is, ain't it? Put your drugs away, hide them in somebody else's yard. You
Yes,
know the
because
rules.
indictments are upon us.
You know the rules. Stay focused, guys.
Yes.
Know your rights. If it's not on you, you can't charge me with it. We've been through this before. So, speaking of drug dealers, our big pharma, like I'm looking at just so many big issues, medical issues, healthcare issues, just so many things that happened this year. But I think just on the biggest scale, just focusing on what we can do right here in our local community to make things better and make our life better. So with our city manager leaving, he leaves after they harass Mr. Antonio and say they try to kick him out without due process. So we saw this year how our city really don't know what to do, because every problem that came up, they absolutely had no clue what to do, and they just started doing stuff.
Or
and
they
then,
acted as though they didn't know what to do.
yeah, and then they would be like, what's the due process? Can we do that? And then they'd be like, no. Then they're like, oh, well, we already did it. Okay, let's say like we didn't do it, and let's do the other thing now. So that happened repeatedly this year. And then we had we probably had about 40 department heads retire. So, I don't know. I just feel like the city is cleaning out the slate for us, for new people to come in, new ideas, new ways.
Well, maybe like you said, 2018 was a year of just revealing all of this stuff, and maybe 2019 will be the time where we actually start dealing with this stuff and putting a better system in place for everybody.
I think that would be awesome, because I think one of the issues we gotta face is that racism is real.
It's really real.
It's alive.
Really real. Yes.
In every way.
And ignoring it does not make it go away.
No. So
Just like putting gravy on, fake turkey doesn't make it taste any better. It's still.
Hey, what y'all know,
Yeah.
just in saying that racism is real.
where do you
But-
like dirty?
Tofu turkey. No matter how much gravy you put on, no
Turkey.
matter how much gravy you put on it, it's not gonna taste any better. So if you can ignore it all you want to, it's not gonna get any better.
All right.
But in saying that racism is real and is there, with people being exposed and you actually starting to see who the racists are, then it gives you the ability to look at them and know how to deal with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of them being in the closet and things are happening to you and you don't know why things are going the way that they are because of their own stance on things. Once they put themselves out there and you know who they are, then it gives you the opportunity to create a strategy on how to deal with them so that you're not offended by what they do, but sometimes helping them recognize and see things in a different way. Because a lot of times the racism, because it's bred into people. You can see two children of different races be around each other and they're just fine. They can play, they can have a good time, but as they get older, when it's that hate is bred into them. They don't even know why they don't like you, but just by the color of your skin. They don't know who you are personally. They don't know anything about your life. So with us, it's all about, through the focus, learning how to strategize. You know, everything that you encounter, you don't always have to be open or quick to run your mouth about it. Sometimes it's best to move in silence so people see the good that you're trying to do, instead of just, you know, being ignorant or very vocal and not having a purpose behind what you're saying.
Right, because that's the first thing they're going to say, oh, you're ignorant, you're the problem. Not what you're talking about is you're the problem. And I agree personally, because like I said, the best thing about Trump is, you know, people swore up and down that, you know, we had a post-racial society until Obama showed up. That's one of the talking points of the right. And I'm like, no, that never would happen.
So what is post-racial?
Post-racial was, okay, we gotten beyond the race thing. We were better as a society as a whole.
Okay,
Now, a few racist agitators, Barack Obama, Jesse Jackson, Sharpton, Pastor, what's his name? Here. Barber. Yes, they brought it back into the limelight and opened that old wound up and kept picking at something that was already dealt with. But these people don't realize, yeah, you're talking about slavery. The first thing they come out, well, slavery was so long ago, none of you were slaves. That's true. But, you know, we had Jim Crow, we had segregation, we still have redlining and still have gerrymandering to this very day that actually affected this last election. These things weren't done for the benefit of black people. They were done for the benefit of white people. And they're still in play. So until the whole vestiges of that system get crumbled up and thrown the hell away, you really can't say we got past it now, can you?
And not even just talking about just when you brought up the elections, even when they were doing, was it for the Senate and the Congress seats, how in the states where, in Georgia, they had the Stacey Abrams, she was running for governor, and Kim, and then you had in Florida, was it Giles? Giles was his name or something.
The black guy,
I can't remember his name, but they were running, and how hard. That's what it was.
Andrew Gillum.
And how hard they had to work to make sure that they count those ballots, because they were doing underhanded things to keep minorities from being able to vote. Just as hard if your name doesn't match exactly how it is on your driver's license.
They purge the rolls because it's like, okay, these people didn't vote, so we're just gonna get rid of them.
And absentee ballots.
We don't have enough ballot machines, and then there's like thousands of them in this warehouse wrapped up in fresh off the presses, so to speak.
And I can't remember in one place, I don't know if it was Georgia or not, where absentee ballots, where people were saying they couldn't be there for the absentee ballots, they were paying people off. The Republicans paid people off to go to the doors and pick up these absentee ballots.
They did it in North Carolina too, the 9th district.
And they weren't. And you're not even supposed to pick up these people absentee ballots. They're supposed to be mailed in, right?
Yeah, the North Carolina, they did it too in the 9th district, because I forgot who, the 9th district is one of the biggest, most gerrymandered districts in North Carolina. They admitted it freely. And the guy, I can't remember his name, the Democrat fellow, he lost by like 903 votes. So then they come up and they're talking about redoing the whole thing because there was somebody who was associated with the Republican side going out there, oh, we'll give us those absentee ballots, we'll take them off your hand, and that is not what they were supposed to have done. So there's like, okay, there's all this misconduct, but you know, it's the Democrats that like to, you know, steal the vote. They the one that got dead people voting and all of this stuff. But you know, this is what you're seeing what's going on. And voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud. Oh, we need ID to keep voter fraud happening. That didn't have anything to do with voter fraud. And I learned something that our friend, I don't know if you're old enough to remember our good Republican friend Jesse Helms from North Carolina, old redneck who I didn't particularly like him. Well, you know, I'm not going to say that. But anyway, did you realize that once upon a time you could vote on Sunday? Yeah, they stopped doing that because the Negroes and the Democrats like to vote on Sunday, so they need to vote during the week like everybody else, so they took it out. Those was actually words from our good friend Jesse Helms. Yeah, I read that, I was incensed.
Wow.
So it was like, well, you know, people go to church, black people, because, you know, church was part of the black, you know, community for the longest time. It was the backbone. They go, oh, you know, y'all folks get me ready to go out vote. So everybody go to the polls, and if Sunday best, go vote. But they said, nope, can't keep doing that because, you know, we need to disenfranchise them as much as possible. Yeah, this was actually what they said. This is not, you know, fake news. MSNBC didn't come up with it. This is what their plan was. And it works until this day.
Well, I think the most important thing people have to realize that is power to the people, and that for every city, state, government you have, every person who is an elected official, actually when you read the charter says this elected official represents the people who live within this jurisdiction and population. And the definition of city, state, town is the population of the people who live within a certain mile radius. So the definition of a city is not the land, it is not the infrastructure, it is literally the people. So until people choose to do something different, until people choose someone different to be in these positions, because I had a pastor say to me not too long ago when I was like, well, I have a problem because a lot of these boards and positions don't have moral or ethical laws that they have to uphold. Which I find is absurd, because if you have to put your hand on a Bible to take an oath on the Bible, that means everything in the Bible you're supposed to uphold. So if you actually read and understand the Bible, there's some things called justice, integrity, love, long-suffering, patience, kindness, and I don't see any of the people who actually have taken the oath on this book uphold any of those standards of a moral code or conduct. And the pastor told me, well, I don't expect them to. Huh?
But Pete, aren't the evangelical right the have moral superiority when it comes to stuff like that? Isn't they hold the moral high ground, and they invoke God in everything that they do and would never do anything underhanded or...
There's two different guys, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, whew. Okay, evangelicals do not worship the same God that regular people worship.
Really?
No, they don't.
They lied to us.
They did.
Oh.
It's not the same God. That's the problem. That is the problem. The problem is that we have allowed religion to set standards of God. God is not a part of religion. First of all, we need a whole new dictionary for 2019, okay? God, first of all, is not a person, place, or a thing. God is a consciousness. God is a way of thinking. So everyone...
God is a verb.
An action word, that is? So, that means... it's not a noun. That means the only way God could be seen is through your action. Never just through me standing here saying that God is God. I'm saying. So.
I need sound effects.
Yeah. So, now that we know that God is not a person, place, or a thing, God is an action word, mean get up and do something, mean actually love something.